All right, guys, this is Growfold, and today is a super exciting day. So I mentioned how I was gonna import plants for the very first time. Just a little bit of a background. I found a Etsy shopper named Barokah Plants. It's an Indonesian shop on Etsy. And I was really apprehensive about just importing plants, but there were some gorgeous Aglaonema plants, and I just wanted to go ahead and take a risk. Two things to note. One, I was not paid to sponsor to do this video, to do this live reaction of what imports look like. I honestly want to give you guys just an honest reaction on importing plants overseas for the first time. So the package actually was sent out on Monday, and it got to my house today, which is Thursday, December 21st. It literally traveled 10,000 miles from Indonesia to Texas, so I thought that was really exciting. I placed the order on December 2nd, so it literally took about 19 days. So we're gonna see what it looks like. I don't wanna show you all of the paperwork, but a couple of things that you need to note when importing plants is, one, there has to be a phytosanitary certificate, which I saw on the package, and then obviously just the import permit paperwork. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip this around, and it's like right here. I'm gonna go ahead and just rip this off, and we'll look at that later. And then this is the phyto certificate right there. So that's pretty cool. So the plants that we are going to see are some Aglaonemas. I need to see how it is. Some Aglaonemas, a rare Syngonium, and then also a plant. What other plant did I get? I got a rare croton. So croton plants that I was able to find from Barokah Plants. So you can see that from the packaging itself, they know what they're doing, because you can see there was a lot of protection. There's a lot of insulation going on with this package. So it might just take a second for that. My initial thoughts when importing Indonesian plants is, one, was it gonna make it to me safely? And two, was the seller actually gonna send me the plants I was looking for? I will say the whole process actually was very easy. Barokah Plants, the seller on Barokah Plants, actually showed me the plants that I was going to be getting, sent me pictures of the plants, and answered any questions I had. They literally, I would message them and I would get a message instantly. So I really love the communication that they did for me during this whole process. I did also ask one other Etsy seller that took the time to buy plants. So there was confusion on whether I really needed to get an import permit for this situation. And initially I didn't have a permit, but it was really easy to get one. So I would tell anybody importing plants overseas, there is a new rule about just importing plants, so you might need to go ahead and get an import permit. That was super easy, and I was able to get it within 24 hours. And the good thing about getting an import permit is it's free. So you can see that there is a lot of insulation here. So we're gonna just see what it looks like. I was honestly surprised how fast the shipping was. I mean, literally, it took 19 days for the process, but it really takes, they say that it takes at least 20 days to get a phytosanitary certificate. So I was really surprised that it was really fast when it came to it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dump this insulation here. How do I open this? I'm trying to figure this out. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that I have a super sharp knife, and I'm just gonna cut in the middle and see, or let's go ahead and try it this way. Okay, this is much easier. Bear with me as I attempt to cut this open. And like I was saying about my other unboxing videos, you want to make sure that you take your time unboxing, because you don't want to like rip out an entire plant. So I'm already being a little bit messy in terms of how I'm unboxing, but you can see on the second layer, there is more insulation. What I was nervous about too is, you know, plants traveling overseas from a tropical area like Indonesia, and then you're going to Texas where we're in the middle of winter. When I was telling some of my plant friends that I was attempting to do a import for the first time during the winter month of December, they were really just saying, let's pray that it gets to you in a timely manner. So I'm trying to think, how should I go about this? There's not really an instruction, so I'm just gonna go on the side and cut here. So guys, let me know what you think in terms of how you've imported plants. And you can see, or I'm getting super excited, guys. But I wanna make sure that I'm taking my time unboxing this video. You can see right here that there is several plants. Oh my goodness, several plants wrapped in this insulated thing. So I don't know how I want to go about this, but you can see that the plants are packed. I can kind of feel some moisture here. So let's go ahead and, ooh, they're taped together here so they don't even move. Oh my gosh, I already see it. I see it, I see it, I see it. I already saw a glimpse and I'm like I'm getting super excited. I'm gonna place this one last to look at because this is the one plant that I actually wanted to get, and it's the Aglaonema Lotus Delight. Super rare Aglaonema, so we're gonna take a look at that in just a bit. But if you can see on this first one, they have it labeled 6 of 10, so I think I got like 10 plants. I'm gonna go ahead and slowly unbox it. It feels wet to the touch. And so let's see what plant I got here. They look a lot bigger as well. This one is, oh, okay. So this one, I already know which one this is, and it's a really big plant. Another rare type of Syngonium that is not seen in the market yet. And it is a Syngonium lemon lime, and it's actually a lot bigger than what was described in the photos. So it looks like the seller, in terms of what they wrapped this was around, is so they have a sheet of paper and they put tissue paper. I'm not gonna look at the roots just yet, but you can see initially that these are packed, and there's really not a lot of stress. I was surprised that there was no stress when it comes to that. So that's the first one, is the Syngonium lime soda. This is called Syngonium lime soda. I'm gonna put this to the side. We'll do some close-ups in a little bit, and then also do a root reveal. So we'll go ahead and put that to the side right here. The next one we're gonna do is, I wish they would have labeled the plants, but luckily the plant nerd in me knows what plants I bought, or I'm hoping. Otherwise, I'm just gonna go ahead and put this in the ID. But you can see here, super packed, and I just really love the care that they did. Ooh, there's a piece of hair, but we'll just disregard that. But I can see this is some kind of Aglaonema. They say that Aglaonemas actually don't travel as well, but the fact that it literally was in Indonesia on Monday, I got an update on Tuesday that it made it to Singapore, and then from Singapore it made it to Cincinnati, Ohio, and then from Cincinnati, Ohio it was delivered to Texas. So it was super fast. This one is actually, I don't have the plant ID, but you can see right off the bat there's only one leaf that's kind of yellow, but you can see there's new growth here. You know, I thought I was gonna know what this Aglaonema was. I'm gonna say it's Aglaonema coconut, but if it's not, you know, I'll correct that in the video when I do that. So leaf-wise, first impressions, bigger than I thought it would be, and then also the leaves are healthy. So we're gonna go ahead and unbox them more. So you can tell that these are taped down pretty well. They have like some tape to tape these down so they don't really move. I just can't believe that these plants made it from Indonesia to Texas in literally 4 days. And the first 2 plants off the bat haven't had any damage. So a lot of times people say that, you know, imports, the leaves look great, but it really depends on the roots. So I'm hoping that the roots are gonna look just as great as the plants. I like the care that Barokah Plants, or at least the seller, did, because you can really tell that they know what they're doing in terms of importing plants. They really took the time to pack the plants securely, and there is some moisture. I can feel that they might have like sprayed some water or something to keep these plants from drying out. But so far, of the 2 plants I have unboxed, they've been looking great. So I'm gonna go ahead and unbox another one. We're gonna see a tidbit about the seller. So their communication is really on point, because the night before they were gonna send out the plants, the seller sent me pictures of all the plants I was gonna get. And this one right here, you can see, is another Aglaonema. And this is, I know this one. This one is Aglaonema Sultan Brunei. I think that that's what the name is. And you can see that the leaves are perfect. Like, I cannot believe how perfect this import has gone. Like, I almost wanted to say, you know, guys, if you need to import some Aglaonema, you need to go to this seller. They haven't sponsored me for anything. I literally am giving you my first reactions on how this looked like. So this is the Sultan Brunei Aglaonema. So we're gonna go ahead and go to the next one. Wow, this one's a little trapped. They put some tape here, but like I said, again, you have to be super careful on how you unbox these plants. So let's see what this next one is. It's gonna be another Aglaonema. I ordered a lot of Aglaonemas just because Indonesia as a country, Indonesia and Thailand, I would say, have some amazing Aglaonemas, and I want to see about importing more Aglaonemas. I already feel really great about what I've received so far. So I'm just really, really happy. This is an early Christmas present for myself. Didn't really know what to expect for imports, and so far so good. So let's see what next one we have right here. So this one, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, I'm just getting really excited. So this one is actually an Aglaonema that has made it to the market in the US. This one is Aglaonema Rainbow or Frozen, but you can see that this Aglaonema is a good size. There's some yellowing on some of these leaves, but you know, that's expected. I'm not even mad at the fact that there are some yellowing leaves just on the bottom, but in general, like, the top growth is amazing. You can see that this was another Aglaonema, and actually this was a freebie. The seller included a free Aglaonema or free plant and gave me a selection on which one I wanted. So Barokah Plants, look at this. This is amazing. I can see that there's just a little situation with this right here, but I think that, you know, we'll be able to rehab that. But this is awesome. Love it so much. So we'll go ahead and put this to the side. So we just have a couple more plants here. Thank you guys so much if you guys are still watching my unboxing. This is probably the most exciting unboxing that I've ever done, just because, again, I can't believe that I've imported plants from Indonesia and didn't have any issues. You know, you hear stories about people importing plants and then all of a sudden their import gets like hung up and like customs like declines it. I was really nervous when it got into the air, but like by Wednesday, when it said that, you know, customs, or was it Tuesday or Wednesday when I got an update about customs releasing it, that's when I knew that, you know, the fear of it going back to the sender, me getting my import license and just having the correct paperwork was what I really needed to do if I was going to actually import plants. So, you know, you guys are literally getting a live reaction on these plants, and I would say this import is like perfect so far. Perfect in terms of just the plant size, the prices I paid for these Aglaonema, and then just even the communication. So anybody who's actually weary about importing plants, I would just tell you, make sure you get your import license. Make sure that you vet out the seller, look at how many reviews they've gotten, and make sure that the seller is very attentive to you know, your communication. Like I literally heard from the seller every single day, and I would ask a question and they would have an answer and they would update me. So this one is another one right here. Oh my goodness, look at this. So this Aglaonema is known as the Aglaonema Pride of Sumatra, and it kind of has that rotundum type veination. And we're obviously going to look at these closely, but you can see right here it has no stress, and you can see like the plant is packed. You can see there's a new growth point right here. So this is just amazing. Like I am shocked. I am literally shocked that, you know, I would say the temperatures in Texas were around like the 50s and 30s, and the fact that it went through Cincinnati, Ohio, I was really worried that it was going to be like cold and they were going to have some more issues. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about like the process of importing, please make sure you guys leave that in the comments. Let me know about your experiences about importing, and I'll tell you right now, this seller that I have, Barokah Plants on Etsy, and I'll link that in the description. If you want to import, especially Aglaonemas, they have like 169 varieties. You definitely should reach out to the seller, and you can even request to see photos of the plants that you're getting. But yeah, just keep going. We're gonna go see what other Aglaonema we have here. Okay, so this one is, oh, wow. Hold on a sec. This is the other Syngonium I have. This one probably took a little bit more stress, which is fine. This is probably one that I'm gonna have to rehab. This is a Syngonium scrambled eggs. It's a big size for it, but you can see there is just a little bit of yellowing on the leaves. I'm not as worried because there are a lot of other growth points for it. Syngonium tend to be a little bit more stressed when they ship, so I don't mind it at all. But look at how pretty that is right there. So we'll go ahead and put that in here. And if you ask me what I'm gonna do in terms of rehabbing the plants, I'm gonna definitely see what the roots look like. So I don't wanna say that this was like a perfect import. So far it has been close to perfect. It just depends on the roots, because you can see like amazing roots, but it depends on just what that's gonna look like. Okay, so I'm gonna take my time. I have about 3 more plants to unbox, so we'll see what this, you know, looks like right here. You can tell that these plants are actually really large, because I mean they're quite big. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and unbox this a little bit. You can see the toilet paper that they use to wrap this, and you can feel it's damp but not too wet, so it gives them a little bit of moisture. And I think that extra humidity trapped into the toilet paper kind of helps. This one I believe is the Aglaonema Diana. Look at how beautiful the veins are right here. Look at that. Absolutely stunning. It's gonna need to breathe, but if you ask me what I'm gonna do with these plants, they're gonna be put in water to just rehab for like a day or 2 before I plant them in a substrate like soil. So we're gonna put that there. This is a lot of plants. And wow, this is nearing the end. We're gonna see what this looks like right here, but this one's actually trapped below, so I just need to be careful not to rip anything. They really packed these ones down. Okay, so they put some kind of like sticky tape. Okay, so what other Aglaonema do we have right here? You can see that these are really big sizes for Aglaonema. I already know once I get some more funds that I'm going to buy from the plant seller. It just really depends on the roots, but the fact that these leaves have come perfect. Okay, so this is the other plant, and wow, oh my goodness, look at how perfect this is. So this one is called an Aglaonema Frozen. Now Frozen has actually made it into the US market. I've seen it sold, but it's still a hefty price. So we're gonna see, but this is actually a big frozen. I've never seen an Aglaonema this big right here. This is amazing, amazing. Look at how pretty that is. It's got this light yellow color. beautiful. So I'm gonna go and put this to the side. We've got a lot more going, and then I just have 2 more plants. So I think this is the croton that I ordered. And I know with crotons, they're really not houseplants. You know, some people think they're houseplants, but they need to be grown outside. But I thought about my grandmother and her love for crotons. In the Philippines, they call them San Francisco plants. But this one was really interesting because it didn't have like the oranges and yellows and reds. This is literally like a variegated looking one. It has cream and white elbow splashes. So we're gonna see how a croton travels, and oh my gosh, like I haven't even unwrapped it, but I saw a little bit of a glimpse, and I'm surprised that if it actually travels well without stress. That's interesting because crotons tend to be a little bit more finicky when it comes to traveling. I would say so far of all of the plants that have traveled, my Syngonium scrambled eggs was probably the only one that had some kind of like legit issues. But you can see that this croton right here, and this one I know has not been seen in the US market much. There's a couple of leaves that fell, which is fine. I knew that it was gonna lose a couple of leaves just because of the stress and the variegation, but look at how variegated this is. So this one's gonna need a little bit more rehabbing. It lost about 4 leaves, but you can see that like this croton, okay, we're just gonna get rid of some of those, traveled well enough to where I feel like I can rehab this. You guys let me know what you think, but look at how gorgeous this is. It looks like a Ficus lyrata variegated, but a croton version. So I'm hoping that I can grow this and maybe propagate from it soon, but this is a super rare one as well. So it's a croton variegata milk. And then I have my final plant, and this is the one that actually made me want to buy this. And I know that it's a smaller plant. It's my favorite Aglaonema, and it's called Aglaonema Lotus Delight. And if you do your research and try to buy an Aglaonema Lotus Delight in the US, it's retailing at about $500. And unfortunately, as much as I love Aglaonemas, I'm not going to spend $500 on an Aglaonema plant. It just is not going to happen. I don't have that kind of money, but I was able to find a very good fair price, even though it is small. I've kind of learned my lesson. I had one before that died, but I've learned my lesson. But this one is actually a hybrid by an Indonesian botanist by the name of Greg. I don't have his last name, so I'm going to do my research and see if I can actually put that in the subs. But you can see that the suspense here is this is an Aglaonema that doesn't look like any other Aglaonemas. It doesn't even look like a real plant. It looks literally fake, but you can see that it's packed. It was the most expensive one for sure in this whole collection, but as you can see, this is what the Aglaonema looks like. It is an Aglaonema Lotus Delight. So there you guys go. That is the unboxing portion, and then we're gonna take a look at the roots, okay? All right guys, so this is the moment of truth. So we can see that my import in terms of just the foliage, everything was pretty much perfect. I would say this Syngonium scrambled eggs was the one that was the most stressed, alongside with some of the leaf that fell off of the croton, but you know, I already kind of expected that, but my Aglaonema did amazing. So you can see that they've wrapped it in saran wrap here, and I might speed this up just depending on how long it takes, but we're gonna see what this looks like. If you guys ask me what I'm gonna do in terms of like rehabbing these plants, I'm gonna literally put them in water with some Super Thrive to just let it soak for a day or two, and then I'm gonna plant them in a substrate. But I can see that this right here is perfect already, and I love the fact that you can see that there is a growth point. I don't know if you can see, but there is a growth point right there. My Aglaonema Lotus Delight. So one thing you can note for the sphagnum moss is it's dry, so they just kind of wrap this around, and we're gonna see what these roots look like. So okay, so this one has just very bare roots, so this one's definitely gonna be the roots haven't like rotted or anything, so that's good. It's just I was expecting more roots, but you know, I think with the Aglaonema, this one's gonna just have to sit in water for just a little bit. I might not be comfortable actually planting it directly into soil, so I might just give it a couple of, maybe a week or two to just let some more roots come around. But overall, the roots look good. It's not rotted or anything. They look fine. They just look dehydrated. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this to the side. So that's my first one right there. I'll go ahead and chunk that. We'll go ahead and look at this one right here. So here's another one. This is the Aglaonema Diana. We'll go ahead and see what that looks like. All right, so I am about to go ahead and see what the roots look like for this Aglaonema Diana. I went ahead and sped up the unboxing process just a little bit, just because I didn't want you guys to be sitting here watching me struggle on getting the tightly secured roots. That's the thing I love about the seller, Barokah Plants. They really outdid themselves in terms of just how they package the plants. I can tell that the last two leaves are on their last limb, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to either just cut them off so that way it doesn't take away energy from the rest of the plant. But I can feel that the wrap around the sphagnum moss is a little bit moist, and you can see, look at these awesome roots. This has got a better root system. There's definitely more. I'm going to go ahead and just remove the leaves and just take those apart. But look at these roots, absolutely fabulous. Excited about that. And then the next Aglaonema I'm going to be unboxing is the biggest Aglaonema I have. So I'm hoping that there's going to be quite a bit of a root system for this Aglaonema frozen. I've never seen an Aglaonema this yellow greenish before, at least in the US. So I'm super excited to get a hold of this. And obviously the pink stems are a definite plus. I love plants that have pink, anything pink related to my plants. So let's see. Lots of sphagnum moss, super dry, but wow, you can see, oh my gosh, look at this. I can feel all of the roots. There's an extensive root system for this one, and you can see that the color of the roots are nice and white. The texture does feel a little bit dehydrated. Obviously they've been just traveling for 4 days, but look at those roots. This one can actually go directly into soil today if I wanted to, but I am gonna let it soak for at least 48 to 72 hours in some sphagnum moss, or I mean, not sphagnum moss, but super thrive. So this is the Aglaonema, or not the Aglaonema, the Syngonium scrambled eggs. I would say of all the plants that I saw from just first impressions, this one seemed to be the most stressed. There's like 2 or 3 yellowing leaves that I'm going to go ahead and remove from the plant, but we're going to see what the roots look like on this plant. Let's see. Okay, so there's quite a bit of roots. They're definitely dry and dehydrated, but nonetheless, these are viable roots. I'm definitely going to leave this Syngonium in water for about a week just so it can rehab and maybe grow some new roots. But there are at least 4 nodes from this Syngonium, so if the roots fail to really recover, I'm sure I can propagate this and get it going again. So the next one I have is the Aglaonema Sultan Brunei. I like the color of the leaves here. It looks pretty unique. So we're going to just see what the roots look like. I mean, so far, the roots that I've seen are all very healthy. So it's not something where I'm like, I have to go propagate this. I've seen some import videos where literally the roots are just mushy and just rotted out. I'm glad that, at least with Aglaonemas, they have a really thick root system, so they're not as sensitive. And I can see this one doesn't have as many roots. Oops, I kind of ripped one root off, but there's 3, thick roots right there. This one's gonna have to sit in water for just a little bit, but nonetheless, the roots are healthy. And then the next one I have is the Pride of Sumatra. We're gonna see what this looks like in terms of the roots. I really like the linear stripes. This looks like an Aglaonema rotundum, and that's probably some kind of hybrid that, it's probably one of the parent plants for this Pride of Sumatra.
Definitely have to give kudos to Barokah Plants. I'm just really impressed in just how the roots have been intact. So for those that are wanting to import plants for the first time or import plants, go to Barokah Plants. This is a phenomenal seller, and you can tell they sent me some really healthy plants, and look at these roots. They're very good, packed well, and you can tell that they're healthy. They're not mushy or anything. They're just a little dehydrated, and look at these leaves. I mean, my Aglaonema collection is just going to exponentially grow because I'm already planning on doing another import very soon. So we're gonna go ahead and look at this one. This is my Aglaonema Coconut Delight. I like the pink stem leaves, and then the variegation and coloration of the leaves are just very unique. I haven't seen that much speckling on any Aglaonemas, at least over in the US. And that's the thing. They had like 169 different types of Aglaonema to choose from. The one I really want was like $4,000 though. It is the Aglaonema Crown of Siam, Crown of Siam, and like it's absolutely gorgeous, but I just don't have that kind of money yet for an Aglaonema. So let's take a look at the roots here. You can see that it is in dry sphagnum moss. This is okay, so there's quite a bit of a root system here. I just need to make sure to get all of this sphagnum moss out of the way. So this is enough viable roots to where I could even plant this in soil, but we're going to at least let it sit in some Super Thrive water for a couple of days. I will also have an update in terms of my Aglaonema in water, so maybe a 3 to 4 day post unboxing to let you guys know whether these plants decline or maintain their health. Fingers crossed that they will. And then this is another Aglaonema I have that I'm going to show you the roots on. This was the Aglaonema Emerald. And of all the Aglaonema, I prefer the ones with the big round heart-shaped leaves like this one. So I will be looking at different varieties or different kinds of varieties with this type of leaf shape to add to my Aglaonema collection. I've pretty much broken it down to just mostly Aglaonemas, Syngoniums, and a couple of other philodendron, but those are probably my favorite plant species to collect. I'm hoping to get some different Aglaonema even from the Philippines or Thailand, but I just have to find some good importers. Now that I have my import license, I feel confident about just importing plants. So we can take a look at right here. Yup, definitely have some really strong roots. It's a big root ball right here. So this one will be ready to go plant in a couple of days into a substrate like soil. I'm going to use a very chunky mix, and you can see that. All right, so I just want to go ahead and give you guys just a close-up of my plants, each one. And this one is so gorgeous. This one is my Croton variegata milk. You can see that it looks like a Ficus lyrata variegated, but for a fraction of the cost. I noticed that this was actually a grafted one, so I found that interesting because you can see that the other Croton was just like a regular one, but I actually ended up potting this up in soil because when I looked at the roots, super viable roots, lots of roots, and so I figured I'd go ahead and just plant it directly into soil. You can see it's in a nice little pot here, but look at how gorgeous this one is right over here. Let me know what you guys think of this one, but this one's definitely an awesome, uncommon plant, maybe even rare considering I haven't really seen these types of crotons being sold in the US. The next Aglaonema I have is the Sultan Brunei, and this one you can see has some amazing foliage here. You can see that there is a new leaf unfurling. It looks super healthy, and then just to let you guys see, there is another growth point right there. I like that the roots are pretty healthy. I just want to leave this in here for a couple of days, let it grow. We'll just see how it acclimates, but for now I am happy with this Aglaonema. The next Aglaonema I'm featuring is the Aglaonema Frozen. Look at these stunning yellow lime leaves with the pink cream veining that's just absolutely gorgeous. This one's my biggest Aglaonema, and you can see that it is amazing. Pink stems, and look at this root system. Like, this is insane. I definitely think that this one is going to do well. You can see that these roots are super healthy. You can see that it's green and white, and I plan to just let this Aglaonema sit in water for a couple of days as well, and then I will plant it in a chunky substrate soil. And you are looking at an absolutely gorgeous Aglaonema called Aglaonema Diana. You can see, look at this one right here. It's like a half moon type situation. And then we have this speckling here. You can see that this is an Aglaonema you will not see common in the US. And you can see that it is healthy. And this one has really good roots. So, you know, you talk about like imports. Look at how healthy these roots are from Barokah Plants. It's sitting in purified water with Super Thrive, and this one I'm gonna let sit in for about a week. We'll just monitor it and see, and then I will eventually plant this in soil. Okay, this one is my most stressed plant of all of them, but it's not that bad considering, you know, I got a good deal for it. But this is my Syngonium scrambled eggs. It's still a fairly uncommon plant, and it's still being sold for quite a bit of a price. So we'll see how it goes. I know that this Syngonium is going to need a little bit more rehabbing. It's going to definitely require a little bit more humidity, just because it is like a variegated Wallandii. I think that's what it's called, but look at that variegation right there. Beautiful. You can see that they are quite a bit of roots here. I just need to let it settle in a little bit and see. But once this is rehabbed, I'll be able to propagate it. Syngonium grow like weeds. Look at this gorgeousness that is called Aglaonema Emerald. Look at the pink, the green colors. I love the leaf shape. I actually like these types of Aglaonemas with the rounder leaf shapes, but you can see how perfect this one is as well. Love the variegation, and most importantly, look at these roots. Tell me that these roots are not healthy. Super healthy roots. This will be easy to transfer into soil substrate. I'm just gonna let it, you know, acclimate since it's been traveling for a couple of days in this Super Thrive water, and then I will do an update when I plant it into soil. So here you go, Aglaonema Emerald. Here is my other Syngonium, and this is the Syngonium Lime Soda. It's an interesting Syngonium. You can see it's got a nice lime looking color to it. Here's a new leaf that just unfurled. And what I like about this is the roots are also healthy. It's just gonna need to sit in water for just a little bit so I can rehab it. But again, once this is acclimated and established, it will grow easily, and I will be able to propagate tons of this for my friends and family. Here you are looking at this gorgeous, gorgeous Aglaonema coconut. You can see that there's already a leaf unfurling, or it was unfurling. I'm just really surprised that Barokah Plants was able to send Aglaonema in the middle of winter to Texas in this perfect shape. I will even tell you that the plant shops that I bought in the US don't even send nearly as healthy of a plants as this one from International. Look at this. And then you can even see that the roots are super strong and healthy. So I know that this will acclimate well in my environment. We just need to monitor it, but look at that. Aglaonema coconut. Last but not least, this is my Aglaonema Lotus Delight. It is a tiny, tiny one, but you can see, look at how beautiful the pink borders are. This is just an amazing plant. Super hard to find. It's very expensive, so I'm glad that I'm able to get it again. And I'm gonna have to nurture it a little bit because you can see that here's a close-up of the roots. There are roots, but are very, very tiny roots. So we're just gonna see and monitor what it looks like. But you know, the good thing is the roots are nice and bright. They're not mushy at all. if anything, they're dehydrated, but this has been sitting in this Super Thrive water for about 2 hours now. So hopefully it will improve even more so overnight. But let me know what you guys think of this Aglaonema. This is my favorite one. All right, if you've sticked around this long, I really appreciate it. But hopefully this gives you my final thoughts on just importing plants from Indonesia or just overseas. I was just very, very lucky, very, very thankful that the Etsy seller Barokah Plants gave me these amazing Aglaonema, and you can see pictures and definitely video do not lie. You can see how healthy these plants are. It literally only took me 19 days since I ordered the plants for all of these beautiful plants to make it to the United States. I would highly recommend anybody who wants these amazing type of Aglaonemas to buy from Barokah Plants. You can send a direct message and they will answer all of your questions. I know that there are other places like Aroid Market and Green Spaces ID. I haven't tried those, but I can speak on my experience from this one, that this was definitely worth it. I mean, look at this plant right here and look at all of the Aglaonemas. So I do intend to give you guys updates for my imports, but for now, it's definitely a great Christmas present for me just because I have started collecting plants again. I probably need to slow down, but you can see all of these roots right here. So while there have been a lot of horror stories and that actually kind of freaked me out a little bit in terms of whether I should import or not, when you get an experience like this, you definitely want to share this with the world to let them know that it is okay to import. And I just, I would say sheer luck. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. And I'm just glad that my first experience importing plants from Indonesia was an amazing one. I mean, we'll see how the plants acclimate to this environment, but I've used some Super Thrive. I also sprayed a little bit of We the Wild Protect Neem oil, so that'll give them a little bit of a boost in terms of if there's any type of like bugs, and then just to give them some a little bit of fertilizer. I think there's some fertilizer there. Anyways, I really hope you guys enjoyed this blog about me unboxing my imports. If you have any questions about my experience or you want to share anything in terms of just importing plants, please leave them in the comments below. I really want to grow a plant community. I know that my channel originally was an ASMR origami channel, but I am switching over to plants, so you will see more plant content. I was going to do a face reveal for this one, but I wasn't quite ready, so just stay tuned for that if you're interested in seeing the person behind the plants and just this commentary. So thank you again, and if you like this content, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel Growfold, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you.